Hi, I'm Tom Mihawk. This is my personal finance course, and this is the second segment of the chapter called Careers in Personal Finance, talking about resumes and jobs and interviewing and networking and things like that. What influences career opportunities? Geographic trends, like people wanting to move to better climates, lower taxes in some jurisdictions than others, outdoor activities people want to do more than some places more than others, the lower cost of living. People want to live in areas where costs are less, and demographic trends like baby boomers aging, Gen X, Y, and Z preferences, both parents working, delayed or no retirement. All these things affect the competition for jobs, who gets the jobs, who has the better jobs, who doesn't, those sorts of things. Global market and political environment, interest rates, stock markets, wars, political agreements, disagreements, all these things affect your ability to get a job, keep a job, your industry thriving or not thriving. You get to an industry and maybe get laid off, because it's gone through a downturn. These kinds of things can affect it. Technology and the reduction of labor in production and services, products and services. Technology is changing dramatically what most people do in jobs. People think that artificial intelligence is going to remove tons of jobs from the economy in the future. And we're already seeing now telehealth, for example. You used to always go see a doctor in person. Now you might dial in, show your card. Someone comes on, a doctor comes on and says, "Hi, may I help you?" And you describe your symptoms, and they can even prescribe you medication. That's not that's a small technology, video, for example. But the point is that technology is changing the working environment. Internet and social media, huge changes. More and more you hear people getting hired, people getting promoted, people wanting to work with other companies when those they meet with have social media followers. They have a following, they have a brand, and those things are developed. Many of them develop them through internet and social media. And companies interviewing at universities. Those of you watching that are students, take advantage of the companies that come to interview at your university, both graduate and undergraduate students. Look around and see who's advertising and who's having presentations and coffee meetings and dinners and cocktail parties and things to get to know students. Those companies support your university, and those companies interview for sure. Take advantage of them. I still think that for most people, the best first job after undergraduate and probably graduate school too is with a large company. You get great experience, you get to work with clients quickly. For those of you who know you want to be an entrepreneur, know you want to start your own company, all right, great, do that. But for most people, starting at a large company, accelerating your experience, having some economic financial footing when you get out of undergrad or grad experience is a very good way to start. And then later in life, as people begin to hire you for your experience and your knowledge and less for the company you work for, then do entrepreneurial or smaller company things. So that doesn't work for everyone though. Some people know they want to be an entrepreneur, know they want to do their own thing, know they want to be in a less formal environment, as an example. Do it right away if that's what you know you want to do. So employment strategies. Information sources include college career centers. Online has nearly everything you want to find. Company annual reports, information about companies, news, articles, how their products are selling and their services are doing. Friends and family, professional, service, and religious organizations all have groups, meetings, and can provide information about career issues. Networking, be a connector, build relationships, help others in order to help yourself. Proactively make contacts. Start with affiliate groups. Affiliate groups meaning groups that you affiliate with, like sports you enjoy, sports you've played, fraternities or sororities you belong to. Military service, your hometown, your religion, cultural activities that you're interested in, like the arts, those kinds of things. Your university, when you're looking for a new job and you're a few years out of college, go back to the Career Development Center, your alma mater, and ask them to help you with alums that are in the field that you want to go to. Or access, most universities have this these days, an ability to look up alumni in your field, in your town, attended the same grad or undergrad school, alumni obviously in wherever you're looking, but maybe the same grad school. And those are great ways to look for jobs. Make sure you have an elevator speech, that 30-second speech about your skills, your experience, and your interest. I always tell my students, please don't be a student in my personal finance course and get in an elevator with some illustrious alumni and not speak up. I'm actually jumping down. You never know what may come of it. Speak up. Tell people what you're interested in. A little flattery never hurts, right? I loved your this, I loved your that, I read about you here, I saw you on TV, I saw your article, I saw your speech, your presentation back at our university. And then go into, I am interested in this, my name is so-and-so, and I've always wanted to work in this field. You never know what's going to come from it. Volunteer, get involved, coach, teach. I'm surprised at how often career opportunities have shown up for me because I've coached. I've coached for 12 or 14 years, girls and boys, competitive travel and not so competitive intramural soccer and lacrosse. And I've had people ask me, hey, come talk to me about this consulting role. Hey, come talk to me about this financial advisory role. Because they knew me from my coaching activities and my work on the field. And you don't think that's going to happen maybe when you're on the sideline trying to figure out who to put in and who to take out or what to do about a difficult situation. But it happens, and it's happened to me with some regularity. Nonprofit involvement is a great place to get experience and also make contacts with people who are often influential in your community or your region or nationally. Nonprofits always need people who have an interest in their mission, who have resources, who have networks. They need to raise money, they need to bring in management talent, and they need volunteers. And this is a great way to interact with others who have similar interests and similar talents. And I've done 10 years of nonprofit work as both a board member and a leader of boards, and found it rewarding and helpful career-wise too. I've gained lots of experience from my leadership activities and some business opportunities through the relationships that I've made in my board activities. Resumes and cover letters. Resume may be read briefly. Some say only 6 seconds. So the more thoughtfully prepared it is, the more effective it'll be. Your name and contact information must be at the top, and the spelling must be flawless. These are the only really 2 things that are required. Flawless spelling, name and contact information at the top. Seek the advice of experts for maximum effectiveness of your resume. Many techniques exist to improve your chances. Go beyond the basic advice you get. As I mentioned, I do resume optimization advice for students and professionals. I have a website, tommihawk.com, an Instagram and Twitter site, Resume Optimization, that provide ideas, blog that provides ideas. So seek extra advice to improve the effectiveness of your resume. It's a critical document. Cover letter. It's the customary introductory greeting, and it's useful very often. Its purpose is to courteously get the reader to your resume without distraction. 3 paragraphs are typical. First, hello, summary, greeting, how do I meet or exceed the requirements of the role. Second, some detail about the capabilities and guide the reader to the resume. That's the job of the cover letters, to get the reader to the resume. The cover letter is like a hello. And the third paragraph, summarize how you will contribute quickly, ask for a meeting, tell the reader when you'll follow up, and state how you'll do that. So resume, cover letter, important documents. The cover letter font should be the same as the resume, should be the same font size in general. The goal of the cover letter is to get the reader to the resume. The goal of the resume is to convince people, to let them know how talented you are and have them absorb the information quickly off the page. And that's the key with getting good guidance, is if you wait for the reader to figure out how talented you are, they may not. They may be busy, they may have had a bad day, they may be tired, they may not be that good at reading resumes. Your job is to make the resume capable of providing this information quickly to the reader. Interviewing, prepare, read online, look for recent news, financial statements, find out about company competition, new products and services. Your job is to prepare and be ready. Don't choose the 8:30, the 1:30, or the 4:30 p.m. interview slots if you can help it. The 8:30 is too early, the 1:30 is right after lunch, and the 4:30 is right before they leave. Choose other times when they're awake, alert, and ready to get to know you. Know the dress expectations. Generally, that's one level higher than the interviewer, meaning, if you're interviewing for a job as a basketball coach and the interviewer shows up in sweat clothes, you should probably wear a blazer and khakis. If it's a professional job and they're in a suit, you should be in a suit. But not always. If you're interviewing in venture capital, maybe they expect you to come with a hoodie, right? Like a Mark Zuckerberg. Be positive, quietly self-confident. Convince yourself you're the best candidate on the interview day. I don't know how, but I was always able to do that. Convince myself that I was the best candidate. And I would tell myself that. I'd prepare. Preparation gives you confidence. I'd prepare, and I was ready. If interviews include dinner the night before, use your time wisely. Be fully engaged, alert. Get to know the company, decision makers that are there at the dinner. Get to know your competitor candidates. Learn as preparation for the next day to give you confidence so you can ask good questions, respond to the questions you get well, and have all the people who attended the dinner and all those that are involved in interviewing decision making aware of you so they know who you are. Use that dinner or the cocktail party or whatever that social interaction might be. Use it to your advantage. When you evaluate offers, when you have an offer, that's the most before you've accepted. When you have an offer before you've accepted, that's the most power you'll have in the employment relationship. Use this position to clarify expectations and negotiate a fairer offer if the one you've gotten is not appropriate or fair. Examine the offer for appropriate compensation and other benefits. And the title, for example, let's first talk about the title. People say, well, title doesn't matter, and I agree with you in general, but title establishes where you go from that point forward. It establishes what your job is going to be, who you work for. So the title does matter. It should be appropriate relative to your education and your experience. Make sure you ask about employee benefits, health and other insurance, vacation. These things are critical. If your compensation is inappropriate, negotiate. Prepare in advance. Determine what the comparables are for some similar universities, roles, executives, professionals, and seek expert guidance. I've helped students raise their compensation offer, get paid for required CPA courses, and get these offered for free, later starting dates. Be prepared, get guidance. Negotiation does work, and you start out in a better place. And let others interviewing you in the future know you have offers. Now, do that cautiously. Some people will be turned off by that, but in general, other companies want to know that someone else likes you, someone else wants you. It makes their job easier. They already know you've been vetted and accepted. So if you do that appropriately, quietly, self-confidently, it lets people know that you've already been vetted and they should take a look at you. I found that worked for me as both an undergraduate and as a graduate student. Important social media these days. LinkedIn is most commonly used professional social media. Have an account, refine it over time. It has a free service and various premium services also that offer more features. You don't have to be quite as complete with your LinkedIn profile as you do with your resume. The completeness requirements are higher. There's a higher standard on resumes. So LinkedIn allows you to craft a little bit more what people see about you. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, the topic of social media followers comes up increasingly as a factor in hiring. People want to know you have a brand. And if you have a brand and you have followers, that's generally to your benefit. It's a place to promote yourself, your company, your services, your ideas, and let other people know about the goods and services you offer for a fee. Other important things. Mentors are important guides and counsels. These relationships can happen naturally, or you can develop them with initiative. Seek those with expertise and influence and a connection to you. They may have different mentors And different times in your career and life, you may have different ones, but mentors are critical. And those that take an interest in you or that you take an interest in and then it becomes mutual are very valuable. Creating income in addition to your formal job, the side hustles. Many believe multiple sources of income produce greater personal security. Internet and social media accelerate this opportunity. People say, have your 9 to 5 and then have your 5 to 9. I don't recommend that people new to their job or people young that just have their first full-time job, don't dilute your energy and your talent by trying to do something at night unless you're really motivated to do it. But be aware that social media and the internet make these side income opportunities more possible, and they can give you greater financial security. So be aware of these and look into these. Undergrad, grad students, take advantage of organized interviewing. I talked about this a little bit earlier. When companies come to interview you, this is an opportunity to interview with multiple people in a short period of time that you won't probably get again when you've left the university environment. So take advantage of it. If you're in between jobs, in a working lifetime, many will lose jobs. Restructurings, changing industries, new boss with new goals, hiring, leader moves, the person who hired you moves, the industry or the economy has a downturn, your industry downturn. So you have to find a new job. Don't harbor negative feelings too long, particularly for things out of your control. Most, I would say, that lose jobs or get restructured, it happens and it's out of your control. Identify areas for improvement. Learn and improve. Use it as a time to improve your skills. Maintain or introduce healthy eating, healthy sleeping, exercising, and relationships. Get involved in your community. Volunteer, do family activities. Network, job seek actively. It needs to be like a full-time job if you're between jobs. You have to look for work in as many hours as you spent working at your normal job. And use all modalities. Put the most time, however, where you get the best results. Generally, that's networking, social media networking, alumni and affinity groups, job and industry networking, career centers at your alma mater. Applying to ads is generally low yield, although people do it. But, in networking, it's not for everybody. Some introverts are not comfortable networking, but I encourage them, introverts, to learn how to network. Do the best you can, because those, after the university environment, those are the most high-yielding opportunities. So we've covered a lot in this second segment on careers and personal finance. Forgive me, I apologize for in the first segment, the Cuban and the jobs, YouTube's didn't work so well. Just listen, you'll hear, I think you'll see 2 slides, you'll hear me speak, and then you'll hear, I think, Cuban and jobs twice. Hang with it, sorry about that. This has been the second segment in Careers and Personal Finance. Thanks for listening. I'm Tom Mihawk, and I'll see you soon for the next chapter. Take care.